Welcome back to New England Living. Up next, a self-proclaimed foodie and one of Boston's most celebrated entrepreneurs teaches us the art of styling a board. We're here at the Clarke, Sub-Zero, and Wolf showroom, and I am joined by Mo Misra of Boards by Mo. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I am super excited about this one. We are making a delicious charcuterie board today, and you're going to teach us how to do it. First, I want to talk about your business, because you started this as a side hustle back in May 2020, and you grew it into a full-time business. How did you go about that?
Yeah, this has been so much fun. So I actually started this in May of 2020 by delivering these little snack boxes for free to medical staff. Everyone was really overworked, so it just felt like something nice to do. And from there, it just unexpectedly grew into such an awesome business. We do a lot of weddings, catering events, and I also have a business course where I teach other entrepreneurs how to start their own business. It's been a journey.
And you're going to teach us how to make a yummy cheese board. First step, what's a good board without a good glass of wine, right? This is a Petite Syrah from Stag's Leap Winery. It dates back to 1872. It's one of the oldest wineries in America. I know it's going to pair really well with what you're about to make. So where do we start?
Okay, so in my opinion, there are 3 really important steps to making the perfect cheese board. The first is variety. So you want a variety of different cheeses, a variety of different meats. So we'll talk about what those are. The second one is adding a little dimension. So I have my cheese board here, but I also have a few bowls, and then I have one cheese that I'm actually keeping in the jar to add a little height to the board. And then the last thing is adding a little bit of your own personality and flair. So what we're gonna start with today is the actual cheeses. So we have 4 different styles of cheeses here. The first one is Manchego. This is going to be a semi-firm cheese, and we're actually gonna do a really fun styling with this one. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna alternate each of the little wedges, and we're gonna create like a little zigzag pattern.
Super easy.
So
but that
easy.
makes it look a lot fancier, right?
Like, already.
Wow.
Look, there's your cheese board.
I'm impressed already.
So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our Gouda. So this is a smoked Gouda, so it's gonna add a little bit of a different flavor. And I actually just cubed this up to make it really easy for like you or your guests or anyone to just grab. And we're just gonna set that on the other side here.
I imagine the hardest part is not eating as you're working, right?
I know. There's a reason it's called a grazing table or a grazing board, because it's really easy to pick off of it. And then the next thing, so we already have one cheese on the board here, and this is a Chevu. It's a marinated goat cheese. Because there's olive oil in this, I'm just gonna leave it there, and it's really easy to like scoop and spread on a cracker, and then you can use the olive oil for like a baguette or a crostini afterwards, which is really good. And then we're gonna go into another really like soft cheese. You can see like this looks so creamy when you're looking at it. So this is a soft ripened brie. And for softer cheeses, you can actually just leave this on the board as is. It's easy to slice, it's easy to cut, so they're not gonna be worried too much about like a knife.
As far as hosting do's or don'ts, what's your #1 tip?
You're leading me right into it, which is don't leave a big hunk of cheese like this, like a hard cheese on your board. So my tip is always to go ahead and slice the cheeses into like bite-sized pieces so your guests can just grab and go.
And as far as portions, what are you looking for when you're putting this all on the board?
You know, it kind of depends on the size of your board and how many people you're serving. Your like typical portion size is 2 ounces of cheese and 1 ounce of meat per person. But you also don't want to overcrowd it because we have so many other things that we're adding, right? We have all our cheese on the board, and now we're gonna go in with our meat. We have 2 different styles of meat here. We have a smoked prosciutto, which is absolutely delicious. When you have a really thinly sliced charcuterie piece like this, you don't have to get too crazy. You can just do like a little fold situation and then tuck it in, and then it looks really pretty. This charcuterie with like a bite of brie and a sip of that wine was probably gonna be so delicious.
You're a really fun follow on Instagram because you post pictures of all your beautiful creations. And something that you do that I really like is you change up the boards depending on the holidays. So what are some tricks you have for us there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that you can do is get seasonal ingredients. So like when figs are in season or peaches are in season, you can totally add those to the board and it automatically just turns it into a seasonal or holiday style board. The other thing you can do with things like soft cheeses is you can do little cutouts. Sometimes in the winter I'll do a snowflake, and Valentine's Day I'll do a heart or something just to add a little festivity to the board. It's those little things that kind of take it a long way.
And what are you doing here?
So now I am making a little salami
Look at that.
River chain?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it, but this is just another way. Instead of just piling all of the meat on the board, you can just fold it up again, making it really easy for your guests to grab, and then you can just tuck it in somewhere. Okay, so then we're gonna add the last of our salami, and you know, now that we have meat on this board, this is officially a charcuterie board instead of a cheese board.
And what I'm loving about this is the variety, the colors, it's looking really fun, and I can't believe that I haven't done this yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so while you do that, I'm gonna finish off this board by adding some of these almonds, I'm gonna add some walnuts, I'm gonna add some apricots, and all this is doing, one, it gives you great pairing options, but also it really fills up the board to give it that elevated look.
This is looking amazing. We have our board, we have our wine, we're ready for the party. I'm gonna get back into this cheese.
Yep, absolutely.
Coming up after the break, a one-of-a-kind flower farm bursting with color.